There's something idyllic about the town of Strawberry. It feels cozily secluded deep within the woods, with a crystal clear stream running through the center of town. It feels like the most hopeful community in the game, not filled with the oppressed or the capitalist swine, but the honest and good-natured folk that the heartland of America prides itself on. I feel that if Strawberry were in the modern day, it would be a gorgeous town with a dreadful economy, as only the wealthy retirees would live here, and workers wouldn't be able to afford to live in the town. It's heartwarming to see common folk living in such a gorgeous forest town, by no means isolated, but somewhere that just feels so snug. I find it fitting that the Strawberry chapter is the first epilogue chapter, as it does feel like a place where you would go to escape the harsh and cruel life you must have led in the soot-choked Annesburg. Rhodes is the most picturesque western town I've ever seen. It's incredible how, in a game so devoted to realism, the art team could replicate that orange tint old westerns had. While the first game had to put an atmospheric filter over the game to replicate that feeling of sweltering grunge, RDR2 builds that color language into the foundation of the town itself. The hot dust that blows down the main street as you trot down builds a desolate and cruel tension. You can feel the piercing eyes of both Braithwaite and Grey glaring at you, trying to unravel what you're scheming. The hot sand reflects the boiling point that the political struggle between the two sides is about to reach, until the blood soaks into the arid road, and the whole town descends into a hectic power struggle. Saint Denis feels so oddly anachronistic in this game. I surely can't have been the only one shocked to find what I would assume to be a Paris-inspired city on the American frontier. The bustle of this metropolis is so far removed from every other location in the game that it's overwhelming to explore on your initial visit. This makes me thankful for Rockstar's odd tradition of having a fog of war over their map screens. I love the contrast between the city's districts, with wide open paved main streets filled with shrubbery that gives prestige to its upper-class neighborhoods, and a sickening crowded slums that fit so well with the rest of this depressive world, showing us the horrifying birth of modern-day capitalism. My major complaint with Saint Denis is how European its architecture feels. Its policemen wear bright uniforms reminiscent of the Queen's Guard, and the whole city feels so fanciful in a way that no American city truly does. But once you get over the jarringness of its location and complexity, it truly does feel, as Dutch would put it, like a new wonder of the civilized world. But oddly enough, Saint Denis is nowhere near the most depressing example of rampant capitalism in this game. That honor would go to Annesburg. Where Saint Denis has a gross contrast of wealthy to poor, Annesburg is pure misery. The whole town is caked in filth and soot, as the unfortunate workers slave away in coal mines and factories, destined to come down with black lung. The whole town juts out of the nearby forest as an eyesore to the shoreline, like a gash cut out of the mountainside, built as a monument to all that's wrong with the current system of society. Ironically, you'll find Annesburg as the final stop on the train track that stretches across the map, because I can think of no better phrase to describe it than the end of the line. For it just feels like the place you go when you've got nothing left, and that's why we found the Downs family relocated there after Thomas dies. While I could discuss Emerald Ranch, Le Gras, Coulter, and Van Horn, I don't feel as though there are enough interesting things to say about them to warrant including them in this video. So this final section is dedicated to quite possibly my favourite town in open world history. When I think of Red Dead 2, the sleepy town of Valentine is what I see in my head. It's synonymous with the rest of the game. Is this because it's the first location we stay during the game? Not at all. Valentine prides itself on the simplicity of its design, which holds so many secrets hidden within. While there's more to discover in places like Saint Denis, none of those secrets are as easily accessible as Valentine's. Be it discovering the secret business in the back of the doctor's office, the first victim of the serial killer found nearby, or the incredibly compelling Mickey found begging out in the mud. This small town boasts so much rich story content packed into a simple T-shaped town that, like its namesake, romanticizes the frontier and Rockstar's world building all at the same time. Where other cities are more visually distinct with a superior artistic design, Valentine represents the height of Rockstar's design capabilities and creates a small slice of video game town perfection. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about why Red Dead Redemption 1's ending is superior to the second game's.